What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Dave B. You're watching the Esoteric Hustler Academy and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hair a little wet still, but you know what I'm saying? We getting down to the business. So, you know, for the most part, if you check out a lot of things going on real like right now. Actually, if you interested in the astrology aspects and you want to check out like a more in-depth new moon reading and shit like that, I just posted the new moon and Sag energetic overview on my main channel, the Day Beyond TV channel. I don't even like to say main because I'm about to make all these my main channel and shit like that. But for the most part, different things for different purposes. So also what's going on is if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to the Subcon Media Network, and that's basically going to be the home for different content coming from the Soul Group. We got an interview up there with Million Knot and a couple of the features off his latest album, Metamorphosis. Matter of fact, I was just bumping this joint just now. I was on the track with Kyle James and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Mental paralysis and shit, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to that shit, you know what I'm saying? We just chopping it up about the album. You know what I'm saying, talking about the process behind the scenes and shit like that. Beyond the scenes, that's the new shit. Speaking of beyond the scenes, we also got a documentary in the life. I realized, you know what, I'm gonna start offering this as far as like if you want to, if you want this style of, this style of film for yourself, and you know what I'm saying, because this is really dope shit that I just like to do. I like to capture kind of like a in the day of the life documentary style film, you know what I'm saying? So and basically we went behind, this is behind the scenes of the I'm Obscure music video shoot, which is on the way. That's gonna drop on the 4th, you know what I'm saying? So that's this Saturday and shit like that, this Saturday. So yeah, go ahead, check that out. Full episode up on the Subcon Media Network as well. So y'all can check that out. And I'm gonna be adding a lot of different things. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We just get more organized, you know what I'm saying? Learning as I go. And yeah, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me thus far. But let's go ahead and get into the topic. This specifically is going to be about just this transit right now. The moon is in since Scorpio. Matter of fact, I can pull that shit up right now. So right now, you know what I'm saying, the theme right now is yeah, the moon is now 3 degrees in Scorpio, so we out of that cusp energy, you know what I'm saying? The sun is in Sagittarius, so for the most part, this is strategizing the vision, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, because if you think about it, we are at the end of the full moon period. You know what I'm saying? The full moon is gone, it's past, we preparing for the new moon and shit like that. So at this stage of things, it's all about kind of like a last minute cleanse, you know what I'm saying? So right now, just with the moon in Scorpio right now, we're only gonna really want to be around people that we feel connected to on a deep level in general, you know what I'm saying? If you're not, you're gonna be kind of, highly irritated, might be a little explosive, because whenever the moon is in Scorpio, it's kind of that same vibe of a full moon, only, you know what I'm saying, on a, I can't even say on a small scale, because some of the shit that can happen on a Scorpio moon just be ridiculous. So it's all about percentage levels and making sure you're in the right space. But for the most part, if you are on the better side of energy, this will be something that you can utilize to kind of give yourself some time, some space to be in your own energy, and kind of realign your passions and things of that nature. And the way it's going to look is the sun, which is in Sagittarius and shit like that. So that's got us paying attention to our visions, got us paying attention to our inspirations, where we want to go. And so for the most part, this is a good energy as far as business-wise, to kind of sit back and start to strategize your vision, start to strategize and put things together based upon your deep desires and where you actually want to be as far as positioning and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the most part, we do got this sextile with Venus and Pluto going on with the moon. And so, that again, and then also, Mars is at 21 degrees. Yeah, 21 degrees Scorpio as well. So, when it comes to your passions in general, this is everything. Is kind of like these energies in the sky are wanting you to now, you know, you should have already kind of been making a decision, but right now it's time to strategize that thing. You know what I'm saying? Basically, after this new moon, it's really like a push forward. It's a push off the, you know what I'm saying? It's a push off the ledge in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like this: you're gonna be uncomfortable either way. So it's either you're gonna be uncomfortable in the pursuit of your true passions, or you're gonna be uncomfortable knowing that you missed the opportunity, or knowing that you didn't quite believe in yourself enough to go for something, and that's going to end up hurting a lot more in the long run than you just kind of getting up and dealing with this uncomfortable energy right now. Because the whole, you know what I'm saying, that we've been dealing with this kind of shit for a long time. So, you know, in general, it's just one of those things where it's like, damn, okay, what are you gonna do about it though? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, we've been saying, you know what I'm saying, there's no going back to things. There's nothing behind you even for you anymore. You know what I'm saying? So the new moon is gonna also kind of reveal different places, and you know, it's the eclipse energy. So with the eclipse energy, is kind of also no more room for the shit that you know you're not supposed to be into no more, unless you're lying to yourself. And that can happen too, where you're, you know what I'm saying, you deciding to just kind of go blindly with whatever is given to you. But see, the thing is, you know, this is when the sun is in Sagittarius, this is our opportunity to actually take control of the goggles that we looking at our future for. You know what I'm saying? Because like Sagittarius energy is already kind of the look ahead energy. It's the where am I going energy. You know what I'm saying? The surroundings is the Gemini energy. But the Sagittarius allows us to actually go further with that. And like, you know what I'm saying, if you can't physically travel, it's traveling within the mind to imagine a new circumstance, or to visualize, really more so visualize. Pisces energy is more so the imagining. But same thing, you know, you're seeing with your internal eyes. And so like right now, you know, even though we're in a fire sign transit, we're dealing with below the horizon type energies in general, which are, you know what I'm saying, if you think about it, it's like being able to see in the dark. So, you know, we're all in kind of a fucked up place. We're all in kind of a dark place. But it's all about how you're able to see it. And so, you know, when it does come to your business and shit like that, right now is where you could get really uncomfortable. You can get really scared. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how it is when you're working on something and you don't have an example to kind of to make you feel comfortable enough to go for that. You know, you don't have an example to show you that things are going to be all right. Instead, you have to build your own mind out of your experience to kind of create. It's like really something. Also, I think that if you are planning to be an entrepreneur, right? And I'm you know, we're gonna come up with a new name for you know, that we're gonna come up with a new name, because I'm starting to not like using things as far as labels to describe something that I'm doing, or that, you know what I'm saying, like we're doing, because we're doing something different, you know what I'm saying, even though, but just to keep things simple, you know what I'm saying, like that's a whole different discussion and shit. Sometimes the thing I be thinking about in my own time be slipping out, and I'd be like, hold on, I haven't you know what I'm saying, made that real yet, or, you know. But anyway, what I was saying is just kind of talking about you know, when it comes to this shit though, what was I just talking about, bro? I shouldn't have went on the tangent. Oh shit. But for the most part, it's all good. But I know I'm talking about business. And so, that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? So when we, you know, as entrepreneurs, we gotta keep in mind that what was the actual point? It was like, keep in mind that because I was talking about oh yeah, when things kind of get scary and shit like that, it's like you have to keep in mind. Oh, you have to create your own reassurance. You know what I'm saying? Like all these different things. You know, I'm kind of talking about tools right now, right? And tools, it's like your tools are knowing your elements. Don't, you know? I was, man. I got another video on that Day Beyond channel where I'm talking about tools and using different planets in different ways in order to kind of you know, create different passages in which you can, you know, harness different energy. Like, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, the mind, you're dealing with like Mercury type energy. So if you're doing something in the field of like, it could be anything, you know what I'm saying? But if you're doing something like, man, I'm kind of getting points confused and shit like that. Not confused, but it's just like, to talk about this, I got to go all the way to this. But to simplify everything, I'm just going to say that, you know, for the most part, we have to create, you know, you have to create the feelings that you need as if, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like using your energies, um, your alchemy to create certain feelings that you can utilize as, you know, I want to say, yeah, like gas, you know what I'm saying, like esoteric gas and shit like that. I made that point in another in that I think in that new moon video for the most part, you know, just kind of talking about a car filling it up with gas, the gas being the filling. And you know what I'm saying, also, you know, if you watched the live the other night and shit like that, they was talking about that on the live, you know, shout out to Dolo and shit. But for the most part, you know, it's all about creating the proper feelings that you need in order to help get you from point A to point B, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, when it comes to certain things, like, you know, in times like this, sometimes you're going to have to create your own reassurance, your own belief in whatever you're doing. You know, you're going to have to create your own positive feeling out of all this craziness you might be feeling as far as like traveling into new spaces, because that's all we're doing. And, you know, the Sagittarius energy, I was kind of speaking on that as well, as far as like that energy being kind of like, you know, it can be the type of energy that can get on kind of a downward spiral and shit like that. And like just kind of talking about optimism in general. So when it comes to this kind of shit, it's like you have to keep in mind that like in times like this, like I was just saying, we're dealing with a fire transit, but it's during the below the horizon time. So it's going to be a lot of like, it's like a lot of internal seeing. So being able to see in the dark, you know what I'm saying? That's like your ability to create a light or create a thought or feeling that can sufficiently brighten up a dark circumstance, or a circumstance, and dark circumstance being something that is basically you can't quite, it's something you haven't experienced yet, you know what I'm saying? It's something that's unknown to you, or something that you haven't yet experienced, you know what I'm saying? And that's the ironic thing about the Sagittarius energy in general. It's about experience in totality. So at this time, it's not so much about trying to be able to see it all, but more so being willing to know what you want, see enough of it, like as far as visualizing it, and then being able to actually go through the experience to see for yourself what it actually is. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? You're never gonna, what you see in your mind is never gonna be the exact result. But as far as like the better you are knowing your own energies and being able to kind of keep the balance between, you know, what you know as far as like what you've experienced. It's like you don't know until you experience, but if you can keep the balance between visualizing and then creating thoughts and feelings that create a sufficient enough light in that dark space as you're going through, you know what I'm saying? It's because like it's almost like you're going through that dark space, but you have to create that feeling and that thought, you know what I'm saying, in order to be able to have the courage to keep going and to keep, you know what I'm saying? But as you create that light and it shines on different things, it's like you actually going through the experience and you get to see what it is for itself. And you know what I'm saying? And some of these things can catch you off guard and shit like that. But you know what I'm saying? It's like for the most part, and that's the thing, it's never what you thought it was. You just created a light that could be sufficient. It's like honestly, like the more sufficient your light is depends on how aware you can be of, you know, different things. Because like even on that live, like yo, a lot of dope shit was in that live, because it was also talking about, you know, seventh, eighth, and ninth dimensional energy, in the sense of being able to look at a certain, like look at your own thought pattern and look at the direction in which it's leading. So, you know what I'm saying, that kind of goes back to my point of just saying, you know, when it comes to these things, it's like we have to create feelings. We have to, you know what I'm saying, like, this is stuff that we know and shit like that. But specifically, you know, especially being an entrepreneur, that's why I like, you know, that's one of the reasons why I made this, like the Esoteric Hustler Academy, because this is shit that you need for business. You know what I'm saying? Because without it, it's like all business is creating something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? All business is alchemy. You know, you had an idea, a vision that no one else could replicate, right? And the only reason they can't replicate it is because you did the inner work to get to something that was so purely you that it couldn't be duplicated. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's the key too about whatever business that you run. It's about how, like, the deeper you're able to go into yourself is the more unique your product can be. And if you can align your uniqueness with actually solving an issue, solving a problem that other people have, that makes it relatable. And that's how you actually start to create something of value, you know what I'm saying? And then the rest of it becomes the just proper placement. It's like, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like the water being the inner work, the fire being, or yeah, it's like the water being the inner work, the fire being the inspiration to see something unique, or to see something, to visualize something based upon those, you know, that those feelings that you was able to kind of like cipher through the connection and shit like that. I mean, there's many different ways you can do it. I don't want to I don't want to set nobody on a path and shit like that where they're like, okay, I got to do it like this. But I mean, to finish the point, it's like you're using all elements at all times. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what these elements are. You can create, that's how you create your own story, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all, you know what I'm saying, and like we all creating a story, creating a narrative for our own life, you know what I'm saying, or at least you should be, you know, in the sense of like, you know, you being the main character, you going through these different experiences and you having somewhere to go after this is expired, you know what I'm saying, as far as just the continuation of your existence and shit like that. But back to what I was saying, man, I guess I'm going deep because the moon is Scorpio and shit, but for the most part, you know, like I was saying, you know, strategize the vision though. You know, and that's the thing. I mean, everything I was saying is relevant because right now, also the moon is going to try to, the moon, you know what I'm saying, it's not as lethal here, you know what I'm saying, as far as like right now, but the moon falls in Scorpio in general. So you might be going through a little more of an emotional turmoil type time, a little more intense when it comes to the things you feel. And those feelings can lead you on, like I was saying, you know, they could lead you down a path of kind of more negativity or more frustration within yourself. Not really sure if what you're choosing is the right thing to choose, or not really sure if what you see visually is able to even manifest itself in reality. But you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like one of those times where it's up to you. You know what I'm saying? Neptune also goes direct today. So, you know, when it does come to your dreams and shit like that, just know like it's go time. And so what you choose to do, whether, you know, it comes down to two choices you really got. Either you're going to go for it and make it work, or you're not, you know what I'm saying? And don't think about half-assing it, because if you half-ass it, you're only going to get half a result. And you know what I'm saying? That can end up being more frustrating, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like you're always going to get hit. And that's another thing that came up in a lot. You always go get hit with the resistance. And if you on the fence, the resistance is always going to be heavy enough to knock you on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Or if you play too much, it'll be a situation or circumstance that get yanked from you, and then you won't be able to do it. Because another thing is, like, a lot of times, because we live in a world that's it's so favorable to be comfortable, a lot of times we get complacent with thinking that an option is going to be there forever, and that's not the case either. Just like transits, things transition, things change, things that, you know what I'm saying, the only thing what is it, the only thing constant is change, and the only thing promised is death. It was just transformation. So it's like you got to look at this shit like whatever's in the moment is meant to be experienced within that moment. But in that split second, you got a choice whether you want to participate and give it life, and by giving it life, you give it a longer expiration, or give it a longer term to live, but eventually it does have to expire. Or you choose not to give it energy, and it has an even shorter expiration, or even faster expiration date, or shorter, not faster, whatever. Y'all get what I'm saying? But you know, so when it comes to right now, like I said, you know, this is the perfect time to sit down with yourself, you know what I'm saying, and really kind of start to strategize how you want this shit to play out. And you know what I'm saying, through the sextile, you know, you still got Pluto in Capricorn. So at a core level, a lot of the ways in which you go about initiating practicality, right, are already kind of have been going through a transformation. But it's like, you know, Pluto's been wanting you to change how you went about, like, honestly, from a business aspect, because I'm just looking at, like, you know, we've been dealing with Uranus and Taurus and shit, and Pluto and Cap, and you know, they're both sextile in Neptune. So right now it's kind of like a Stargate right now, where and I mean Stargate in the sense of just looking at the energies and what's going on. It's like there's kind of this energy where, you know, business wise, if you're talking about structuring how you've been structuring things, it's like you know, this is a time for innovation. So whatever business you are doing, and if which you, because you might start like really like you might be experiencing this now, where it's like the shit that you've been doing probably ain't working the same, especially if you kind of like already been in business, right? A lot of people starting out their business, like here's the thing, like you kind of in a sweet spot. Well, everybody in a sweet spot, because right now is an opportunity to really create some new shit. You know what I'm saying? Really create some shit that people haven't seen or heard of before. And like I be saying, you know, uniqueness is like our greatest resource right now. So right now, if you kind of see, like if you starting out, and by starting out, you could be doing, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying like you starting out in the sense of like you don't have consistent clients yet, but you kind of building up to, but you know what I'm saying? You've been doing this maybe online for a while, but you still haven't put in that, y'all know, that switch to actually have some consistent clients and you know what I'm saying, consistent posts and stuff like that. Try to see if you can weave in some kind of unique you know, just like you could have a traditional business, but find some way to convey your creativity in a unique way, or convey what you do in a unique way, as far as like digital content, you know, videos, graphics, even, you know what I'm saying, like pictures, like, you know what I'm saying. See if you can link up with somebody who does visuals, who does even through like especially like if you are a musician and shit like that, visuals of course, but also even sonically, like start to, you know what I'm saying, kind of look ahead and be like, okay, well, you know, start working on like a new sound, you know what I'm saying, start bringing a new sound, or like, you know, because like we all as musicians, I feel like um at least in the subconscious community and shit like that, we be having like really unique styles that we want to like test out and shit like that, but we kind of go through the process of just doing what we know we can do, you know what I'm saying, and we expand our art and stuff like that. But in the back of all of us, we got we got this new genre, you know what I'm saying. I believe, like when I be working with artists and stuff, I'll be like, nah, like every artist got a opportunity, like got an ear, you know what I'm saying, and grew up on different things, and they have a way of using their voice, right, that you can, I feel like everybody got a unique genre in them, like a mix of something, you know what I'm saying, that they can actually bring out. So I, you know what I'm saying, I'd be like, yo, like at this time you wanna like dive into that, reach into that, and start crafting that for the, you know what I'm saying, even though like we ain't really heading into the new year, you know, the new year really in April and shit like that. So, you know what I'm saying, kind of like, but that's you know what I'm saying, that's really what I be kind of talking about a lot of times in my consultations and shit like that. Just kind of like seeing, you know what I'm saying, kind of getting to the core of your art. And you know, that's the time we in right now, and it goes for more things than just music. It goes for, even if you have, like I said, like a more traditional straight up business where you create a product and stuff like that, start digging. And even if, you know, because not all businesses are meant to be so profound, but whatever you do, start to kind of like, it's meaning and reason in time. So, you know what I'm saying, you might be able to bring something unique out of your unique reasoning for doing what you do. You know, you chose to make this your business, so why are you even doing it? And you know, like the deeper you're able to go, right, you'll be able to kind of dig out something that you might be able to reach a space and dig out something that, you know, adds a whole new layer to your marketing, to your brand, to, you know, to your brand. And that whatever it brings to the brand, it, you know, because it's unique, like, you know, you can get into a new way to market it, you know what I'm saying, because sometimes like we be so rigid and stuck into just things that we think work, you know what I'm saying. And right now the truth is nothing works. Right now nothing's working, you know, everything is kind of up for grabs, you know what I'm saying. And so, you know, what we are fighting for is our ability to be uniquely ourselves, you know what I'm saying. So, you know, make sure you showing up for that, because that's kind of where the war is at. The war is, you know, the war been going on, and the war is happening within the mind, you know what I'm saying. It's happening in different realms, but for the most part, just kind of, you know, like I said, to kind of end out the point, you know. And like I was saying also about like just that energy as far as business goes, the reason I said all that is like I said, all of that is dealing with, like I said, the trine going on is with, you know, Pluto and Uranus, you know. Now Venus is up in there, right? And so Venus is actually helping kind of us seeing what matters, because it's also transforming our values, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, use this time to do some real digging, and do it on a personal level first, and that'll lead you to the business. Or if you already, you know, been kind of keeping up with yourself and shit, you know where you at, apply it to the business and see, like, why am I doing this? Why did I make this the thing that I'm involved in trying to give practicality to? And you might be able to derive certain secrets within yourself, because like a lot of times, like, and I call them secrets because, you know, a lot of these things that we learn is really us remembering things. So a lot of times the inner work leads you to remember things that through lifetimes and through experiences you might have just, like I said, people like layers. Like I made a post about textures on my IG and shit, because textures is really like life. Like everything is kind of like textured out, like, you know, textures, but also layers within those textures. Like, I mean, that ain't everything, but I'm just saying, like, as far as like what I've been on and what I've been realizing about life, it's like, even like how this is in front of the camera and shit, it creates a dynamic, like textures, like how the light even hitting my face right now, and like, you know what I'm saying, like it's like textures, having that in the background, and it adds dynamics. But like a lot of times, like when throughout our experience in our life, like we forget, you know what I'm saying, we forget certain layers, we forget what we can't see, you know, because I'm in front of this, you know, you can only see parts of that, but we forget what was like the whole picture, that was the individual picture before you put it all together. So even what, you know, I was talking about earlier about looking at your thought patterns and shit like that, sometimes we forget, like, oh, I'm just like, we forget that these thought patterns have been leading us to the same places. And when we find ourselves in areas and spaces in our life where we're frustrated and or something's not working, we want to blame what we're going through in the moment. But really, like a lot of times, it could be just a matter of you having something as far as on a layer that you've been needed to remove. And you may not have to throw away the whole layer, but just something in that layer, in that background, in that foreground, whatever it is, that space is like something that needs to be either adjusted, re-examined, because we're constantly growing. So if you think of a picture over time, if you don't go back and edit, if you don't edit as you go, you're gonna have just too much, you know what I'm saying? And whenever we're going through this space, you know, below the horizon, really, we're dealing with shedding. You know what I'm saying? The fall period, like just the end of the fall, the mutable sign of the fall. So this like double death right now, because we're about to go into the winter where we'll have nothing but our bare bones, in a sense, like a tree whose leaves is all falling, which, you know what I'm saying? And you might see that as a bad thing, but no, that's about the core. And that's that. And see, that's why Capricorn really rules business, because it's like, it's about the core functions. And so it's like, you know, it's like how things function and are able to be still sufficient and resemble. Because it's like, when I think of a tree, right, in the winter, in the dead of winter, right, with no leaves and shit like that, it's like a lot of people might see that as sad. But like, you know what I'm saying, like when you look at it for real, it's a sign of like, it's kind of like a crazy sign of life. You know what I'm saying? It's like the I say it represents life in a lot of ways, because it's of course representing death, because all the leaves have died, right? But you forget, it's like it's certain, it's like how everything reversed down here, because to me it says life, because it's like that tree ain't got no branches, but it's still like, it's still there, it's still standing, it's still pumping life through it. But it reminds you that the shit that was on it to make it look pretty and look alive wasn't even the shit that was keeping it alive. It was the core of it. So that's why Capricorns represent like bone structure and like the not the building and what made the building pretty, but what was the foundation, not even the foundation, but the beams that held it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? The beams that held it up. Foundation is like more like Taurus, you know what I'm saying? Foundation is more like Taurus, where it's a stationary ground. But when we, and then if you think about Capricorn, Capricorn is like all the materials needed You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's more like it's all the materials needed and the details gathered together, right? And the workers to actually put it up. But the actual building going up, the beams are like Capricorn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Before you even get to the rest of the house, it's like the beams themselves, you know what I'm saying? And then really like how you decorated and made the house, and all that shit don't even matter for real. Because if you really ask a earth sign, like that's kind of how our earth sign is. Like, you know, it's about the foundation. Do we have the resources and the capabilities to flesh out the details that we agreed upon after the foundation? And then let's put up the beams and get it built. Like, but after that, do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's usually the homemaker's job and shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? As far as how it's going to feel inside and how it's going to look outside, how it feels inside is like the water, how it feels outside or how it looks outside is like the fire, and then the neighborhood you picked is like the air and shit like that. But, you know, that's me just kind of going off and shit like that. But for the most part, you know, so when it comes to that shit, like, you know, like I said, the deeper you able to go within yourself, you'll fuck around and like, because it's a lot of, it's like this sextile energy we got with Neptune going direct, and then Mars and the moon being in Scorpio. It's like these are the opportunities to strategize some of this deep work, because like I said, you might dig and find something that was something within you that you're able to now apply, because like it's your business. So it's like, why would it not resemble you? You know what I'm saying? And this is about like, this is some real shit even about art. Like, you know what I'm saying? Being able to kind of go within yourself to bring about something that, you know, hey, you know what I'm saying, it's powerful and no one's ever seen before, and you know, shit like that. And because that's all we do with the things we create. We everything we create, I feel like it's resembling us. Even shit that you do for other people, you put yourself in it. At least the best work is the shit that actually has you in it. You know what I'm saying? Or has the person who created it in it. When you can tell when something's not hitting, because you can't tell who it came, like it don't have no real tethering cord to reality and relatability. And like our tether cord to relatability is how well we know ourselves, if that makes sense and shit like that. And it makes it matters in business, because it's like it matters the quality. You know what I'm saying? Now if you're just trying to get a quick buck, that's that. But if you actually trying to, you know what I'm saying, like when we start talking about creating a career for yourself and changing the world through business, like actually providing something as a service that could help somebody and change the world in that way, that this is what we talking about now. And now that's why you want the Esoteric Hustler Academy. You feel me? So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So for the most part, you know, I'm just getting more structure with everything. And yeah, we're gonna get better and better every time. I got the cards pulled out and everything. I think I'm gonna make a separate video for the tarot, because I want to make a post with it and shit like that. I'm thinking. Yeah, I might as well. Well, shit, we here now, man. We here now. Yeah, we here now. So let's go ahead and talk about it, right? So, first card I had pulled, I already shuffled and everything. So for the most part, what the fuck is? Oh, somebody sent an emoji. I didn't think I seen that shit before. First thing was the Six of Fire right here, right? And so this is taking the place of what we need to be paying attention to. So this is the number of attention anyway, you know what I'm saying? Talking about kind of like that Leo energy, and a little bit of Virgo, just because it's 6. But if we really talking about this type of energy, it's more so like that Leo shit, paying attention to a creative aspect, you know what I'm saying? Something that deals with fire. So like we were talking about visions, paying attention to your visions and seeing what the fuck is this vision about, right? And ironically, like it's crazy how the cards be aligning, because I pulled these before I even, you know, we got the 5 of water, right, as the you know, in the second place. So how we do this is the first one be what we need to pay attention to on some Taurus shit, you know what I'm saying, what we need to value. So we need to value the vision that we're paying attention to, right? We need to value that shit, because it really does mean something in the world. And sometimes, like I was saying, you got to create your own feelings of reassurance and belief in yourself. Like that's something you might have to refresh every day until it becomes muscle memory, spiritual memory, you know what I'm saying, spiritual muscle memory, or whatever you want to call it and shit like that, you know what I'm saying. So that's what we need to be valuing, and what we need to criticize or adjust in our life, or, you know, criticize or see the details of and pay attention to, and I forgot the other words I use, but criticize in the sense of, in the Virgo sense, or worry about, or to, you know what I'm saying? Because Virgo's like energy that pays attention to something and worries about it in order to improve upon it, and criticizes it in order to approve upon it, approve and get better results for it. So that is going to be the 5 of water. So this is kind of like Scorpio energy. It's like Scorpio energy in a sense, because it's like we're dealing with 5, talking about your emotions, and just gives me an internal vibe, you know what I'm saying? And it's cool how we kind of got this spiral thing going on, you know what I'm saying? The spirally thing going on. So that's the vision. But right now we need to go within that vision and pay attention to the 5, how we feel, and the feelings that we're deriving based upon what we're paying attention to, and criticize these things. So like I was saying about looking at your own thoughts and feelings and shit, and then see where that leads to. It's like, make sure that you transform these feelings, because 5 is also a mobile type number. It's like, you know what I'm saying, it can change, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you want to change your feeling to make sure it's something that can better align with this vision. Or if this vision is giving you bad feelings and shit like that, start to analyze and criticize why you feel that way. And as you know, sit with yourself and kind of look at these feelings and shit, it's up to you whether you're gonna let these feelings consume your vision, because you ain't supposed to value the worry and shit like that, or value these feelings and shit. You supposed to value your vision first. So it's like, you either gonna transform these, or you gonna let these put the fire out, and then you really fucked, you know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be more inclined to pass up on the opportunity. And back to what I was saying before about creating your own feelings, sometimes you gotta create these feelings to get you, like I said, it's gas to get you up out of somewhere else. Sometimes you gotta create a feeling to get you to another space, you know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't got no gas, a feeling that could take you nowhere else, you're just gonna be stuck there in general. That's why I say 5 is like the mobile number. And speaking of 5, the third one I got was the 5 of earth. Now I believe this is more like Virgo like energy, you know, and then so, you know, and like, you know, it's a 5 again. So again, it's about, this is what you need to take action on. And so this is like I was saying, strategizing, practicalizing a better feeling out of, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, whatever, it's like, if this is fucked up, you're gonna create a structure that is gonna, like I said, it's almost like you drowned out your vision and then you created a structure to lock yourself in. So this is you running back to something that you know not working. You just going to for safety. Because like the truth is, even if you took a chance, a leap of faith, and started your business, right, and it didn't work out and you did have to go back to a job, right? If you really did believe in your vision and you really did apply the right proper feelings and emotions to it, what you was able to gain from that experience, even if it feel like you coming back to square one, you coming with something else. And chances are you're going to be in a position to do something that will get you on the right path. Like, it might have just not been that time at that time, but it's like, you know what I'm saying, kind of in that sense of everything happens for a reason. So we be going through shit and it'd be like, damn, that seemed like it fucked up. But the whole time it's like, nah, you went through it to get something out of it. And what you got out of it was worth more than what you could have even probably imagined, based upon it just being something that you had to go through in order to get to a better position. Because it might that job you had to go to as a result after that might be the very thing to give you the right resources to actually go back at that idea and vision. Because, you know what I'm saying, like, when you really got that idea and that vision and that passion, it don't go away, no matter what, you know what I'm saying? And this is kind of you being a strong enough spirit to be like, no, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? On some free will shit, on some your will shit, your inner will shit. But for the most part, this is what we need to take action on. So, you know, once we sort out these feelings, right, and we get them on the same alignment as these, like I said, spiral pattern, then we can make a trine out of this, or we can create a gift for ourselves based upon taking these feelings and then now making sense out of these feelings. And then that creates a nice energy of just being able to be like, boom, okay, now we got something going. And then the conclusion is ace of water and shit like that. So ace of water, this is kind of like, I believe this is like the Cancer type energy, if I'm not mistaken. So with this is like, you know, this is dealing with the energy of being like, you now, the conclusion of it all is now you have a true starting point. You have a emotional starting point, something that you now can utilize to manifest, because it's like the Cancer energy, or the you know what I'm saying, Cancer energy, and also the summer quadrant. Is it the summer quadrant? I'm not sure. I want to say it's like the summer quadrant as well. And so with the summer quadrant, it's like this could be a new starting point for a new manifestation cycle. You know what I'm saying? And then again, it kind of goes with the other two, which was, you know, these circles and shit like that, these spiral like joints. But see, the difference is, right? This one was like a clear vision. These are feelings that might be a little chaotic, because like this, like coming out second is in the Virgo side. So the Virgo side, actually, not to say Virgos are negative and shit, but the Virgo, it is what you need to criticize. So it's a little junky, you know what I'm saying? But through that refinement and then making kind of some more more sense out of it, right? You able to refine it. And that refining is actually a proper starting point that you can utilize to create, to water towards your business and shit like that, and go forward with it. And you know, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure about that quadrant shit. I gotta check the chart again and shit like that. But that's the vibe I'm getting, you know what I'm saying? So I meant to say what I meant to say regardless of where it is on that shit. But for the most part, and then at the bottom of the day, I got this Q and shit like that. So, you know, this is the queen of water and shit like that. So for the queen of water and shit, I see this as, you know, receiving grand support when it comes to the water type energy. So being able to have this substantial starting point, but then also receiving feelings that match that shit. And again, it's with this O, so this like, you know, this circular shape and shit like that. So it's like, it's almost like you're gonna be able to have that starting point and something, you know what I'm saying, and then you also gonna receive the feeling that confirms that, or allows you to, that soothes you, because this right here, this image is soothing to me. So I feel like it's a soothing, all that water that you had to kind of fight through, and the shape, and boom 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 through the vision, you know, it was steaming, it was crazy chaotic, but you found the gifts in it, you found the right points, and you was able to create the idea, problem, and the solution for it. And then from that solution, the conclusion was a proper starting point. And now that starting point, you're starting to receive those energies right back of people wanting to support your feelings and how you feel about that shit. And you know what I'm saying, kind of give you a lot of those, like I said, creating those feelings of reassurance. And as you create that, it's like you giving yourself gas to take you to that space. And once you at that space, you ain't got nothing to do but receive all those benefits from the energy that you was actually in, aka the shit that you deserve. So hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's the reading, that's the breakdown. Much love, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.